Hey everyone, it's Raf again. Got some more updates to demonstrate from the Kompoz 3.0 platform. So let's jump in. I'm on the SEPs page from my demo project that we created in the first video. And I want to show you some changes to the audio player. So I'm going to go into this guitar solo because it kind of is good for demonstration purposes. And one of the things that was requested was the ability to loop over a track. And it was actually pretty easy to do, and I'm pretty happy with the way it came out, so I want to show you how it works now. So to create a loop or to loop over a section of the audio, the first thing you should do is select part of that audio that you want to loop over. And this sort of segues into a concept that we have on Kompoz, the current platform, which is the ability to create markers. And I was never really happy with that implementation. It's kind of kludgy, kind of difficult to use. With the new platform, creating markers is going to be actually very, very simple. All you got to do is click and drag. So for example, if I wanted to create a marker on this section here, I would just kind of click on this first part and drag and then release, and now I've got a marker. And you can see my cursor kind of shows me this ability to kind of drag it back and forth, which I can just click on it and move my mouse and it moves it. By the way, at the bottom you'll see the time, right? So right now it's from 9 seconds to 10 seconds. And as I move this back and forth, you can see that value change. The other thing you can do is move to an edge and simply drag to expand or contract. You can see when I get to the edge, it changes, the cursor changes to, looks like a pipe symbol with arrows pointing left and right. And I can drag that to change the size of my region. And again, clicking in the middle moves it back and forth. Okay, cool. So what? Well, now when I start playing, it doesn't actually jump into the region, but you'll see that once the cursor gets into that region, it's going to sort of trap it. And I can actually move the region while it's playing, and you'll see that it's now going to loop over that section. This is actually kind of neat because I can drag this, and it's a great way of sort of scrubbing through a section of your track. As I move it, you can see the cursor moves along with it, right? So I kind of like this section of the solo. So now what? Okay, so I can loop over this, and great, but there's some other things you can do now with this particular region. You can see that there is a button down here at the bottom that obviously I can clear it. That's what the X means. Let me just create that region again. And I've got some additional options. Clears at the bottom, same thing as the X button. But I can also create comments on this particular section. When I click on comment, you'll see it opens the comment window, and it's got the region attached at the bottom there, region from 12 seconds to 14 seconds. It's got a little X here, which means I can remove it. So now when I type in my comment, whatever it is I want to type, it's going to associate this region with the comment. And I don't have this built yet, but when I save the comment and it displays towards the bottom of the track, that region will be clickable next to the comment, and I'll be able to listen to that section that's being referenced. Now the format of this, you can see it has an @ symbol, and then it's got the from time and the to time with a dash in the middle. That's actually sort of important because you can actually type that directly into a comment, or, and this is the other feature, you can see I've got copy to clipboard. When I do that, and again, I don't have commenting built in yet, but now it's copied that range, that time range with the @ symbol and the dashes and everything into my clipboard. So if I were to create a new comment, I could actually just right click, and paste it in there, right? Doesn't make sense because I've already got this attached here, but this might be to a reply or in a brand new comment. You just right click and you say paste, and now it's got that in there. Okay, interesting. The last section here, set preview region. I'm actually going to go to a different SEP because I think it'll be easier to demonstrate this. Here's a guitar solo that has a sync tone in the beginning, and then the actual work doesn't happen until the very end. So the concept here is that I can actually mark this, click here, and set preview region. What that'll do is it'll save this timestamp, 1 minute and 26 seconds through 1 minute and 48 seconds as part of the track itself in the database, which means that if you are in other sections of the website and you come across this track and you click play to preview it, it's going to start automatically here, skipping all of the sync tone and this dead space, so you're not sitting around waiting for it to actually play something. So it's just a convenient way of marking specific sections of your track that you want to highlight during playback when you're, let's say, in a finished track and you want to listen to that particular track. Okay, so I think that covers the changes now in the audio player. Let me switch over to changes we've made to track requests. So I showed this last time. Here's this page hasn't really changed too much, although now it's got some sorting capabilities. So when I click on track type, you can see it sorts by track type, or I can sort by project or by artist or by when it was posted. And I've got some additional sorting options over here on the top right. For example, which ones are expiring next? I can click on that. If I click on just posted, it shows them in order of the newest first. So sorting, pretty basic, pretty easy. The thing that is kind of fun and interesting is the filter option over here on the left. When you click filter, it now shows me two sections. At the top, I've got all of my track types, and at the bottom, I've got my different genres. So now I can start selecting track types and genres to filter the list by. So let's say I'm a drummer. I click on drums, and you'll see up here at the top next to the filter button, now there is a drums button, which I can click to remove the filter, or I can keep adding additional filters. I can keep adding as many filters as I want. Let's say I want drums, but I also play, I don't know, lap steel guitar, and I can play some flute and maybe some harmonica. So now I've got drums, pedal steel guitar, flute, and harmonica as filters, and it's now showing me those. And of course, my sorting options apply to this subset now, right? Kind of neat. And you know what? I really only like alternative music, so I want to filter this even further by genre, and I'll click on alternative, and now it whittles it down to drums, pedal steel guitar, flute, harmonica, any one of those track types, but it has to be alternative, right? Pretty simple. And again, I can add multiple genres, just like I can add multiple track types. So let's say I think there was a pop and a country. Yep. So that's filtering. Pretty easy to use. I'm also going to add a feature where we can save these, and an option to also just kind of pull in an automatic filter based on your profile talents. So that's coming soon. Okay, so the final thing I want to show you is just a sort of fun feature that I built into settings. When I go to settings, I've got two settings now. There'll be more, but for right now, I've got open new tabs and dark mode. So let me explain open new tabs. Open new tabs, what that means is it says when clicking on items in search results, it opens those items in new tabs. So in other words, here in my filter list, I just spent a bunch of time, let's say, kind of creating these different filters, and I'm interested in zooming through this list, but I want to look at this one. However, I don't want to lose my place, so you'll see what it's going to do when I click now. It in the browser, it opened up a second tab. So here's my filter tab, and here's my flute tab. So it opened up in a secondary window, so I don't lose my place as to where I was. You can, of course, also do this by simply right-clicking and saying Open Link in New Tab, and then clicking on that tab, but I think this is an easier and more convenient option. It applies to the track types, the project itself, even the artist, if you want to see their profile. So any kind of links that are in search results will open up in new tabs. The second setting that I had in there was dark mode. This one's kind of fun. When you click on dark mode, it applies a dark theme to the entire website. And this is really convenient for low light settings, like let's say you're in the studio or working on a track and you've got your lights turned down. With the dark mode turned off, you can see it's very bright and very white. It's just going to kind of flood the whole room with a bunch of light. So you can actually turn that off, go to dark mode, and now everything is in a dark mode. My tracks, my projects, my playback, everything has a dark mode theme applied to it. Just another little convenience in the new platform. So that's it for now. More coming soon.